Kathy Hochul finally endorsed Zoran Mamdani. At long last. Suddenly noticing a lot of liberals changing their minds now and saying racism is not opinion contrary to previous. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're dumping like hey, I noticed a hypocrisy contrarian word slop at me. No one gives a nobody cares if they're contrarian or hypocritical. It's not the world we live in. Cowardly Gov backs defund police and anti-Semitic socialist Mamdani for mayor. Based? You guys hear Mamdani said that he would arrest Netanyahu if he ever stepped foot in New York? He hit us for a 1-2. On one, in a bizarre move, he said Mamdani said that he would apologize for having previously called the NYPD racist. And then the day after, he was like, all right, now here's the turnabout, okay? Here's where I get you, okay? But the non-racist NYPD will have to arrest them. Yeah, he's been buttering them up. How many hardcore Zionists do you think there even are in the NYPD? Isn't it all like fat-necked Italians and Irish and stuff? It's all Catholics. It can't be Jews too. Doesn't work that way. He knows he has to glaze the NYPD or they'll kidnap and rape his family. Yerp. Come on, Kathy. Come on, Kathy. Why I am endorsing Zoran Mamdani. The NYPD trains with the IDF, not kidding. No, I know. Doesn't mean they like him. Can you imagine anything more likely to dispose you against Israel than having to deal with Israelis? Past few months I've had conversations with him. We've had our disagreements, but in our conversations I heard a leader who shares my commitment to a New York where children can grow up safe in their neighborhood and where opportunities within reach for every family. I feel like the noose is really closing in around Schumer more and more. So Kathy endorsed Mamdani right after. What's the name of the senator? I'm blanking on this. Delays? That Dutch ass name. The guy who went down to El Salvador. Van Halen, yeah. Wrote an article, or was it a presser? He was talking about the cowardice of people who wouldn't endorse Mamdani. Love that band? True. Chris Van Hollen. See you in Van Halen, brother. Meeting my friend after I finish buying the tickets. Strong leadership of the Hollen NYPD. Combat anti-Semitism. That's great. That's great. All the local orgs that Schumer and Jeffries rely upon to stay in office all endorse and back Mamdani, the unions, the local dem orgs, etc. Yeah, the pillars of salt are falling out like from beneath their feet, I think. If Mamdani and all of the like inter-party or intra-party partisanship that arises from his ascension ends up taking down the head of both the Democratic House and Senate, that'd be so good. Hold on. Let's take a look at the New York Post article. Kathy Hochul is embracing all of Zoran Mamdani's radical agenda with her spineless endorsement. Kathy Hochul just denied Israel's right to exist, legalized prostitution, voted to throw open the jails and defund the NYPD, and said New York should be a socialist city. By endorsing Zoran Mamdani for mayor, the governor has backed all this and more, embracing an anti-Semitic radical in a stunning act of political cowardice. Oh, she claims in a mealy-mouthed New York Times op-ed that she has had frank conversations with Mamdani. She says they have discussed the need to combat the rise of anti-Semitism urgently and unequivocally. And how'd that discussion go? Did Mamdani suddenly realize Israel has the right to defend itself from Hamas terrorists who killed, raped, and kidnapped Jews? Isn't it crazy that like 50% of Americans vibe with this shit? Like in general, like they would read this and not think, oh, this is written for retarded babies. You know, it's a problem that goes like it roots even deeper than political partisanship, because you basically cannot find left-wing or even left-of-center media written this way. It's very, very difficult to find. It's exclusively right-leaning people who consume stuff like this. There just isn't really like an intersection for the education level or IQ level and political positions one would need to have stuff like this written out for them in a left-leaning fashion. Maybe if you go back 100 years ago. In fact, Mamdani doubled down this weekend and said if Benjamin Netanyahu came to New York when he's mayor, he'd have him arrested in an extra-legal act of diplomatic sabotage. Did you see Hakeem Jeffries' spokesman calling Van Hollen Chris Van who? No? Van Hollen criticized New York members of Congress who have not endorsed Mamdani's candidacy for NYC.
Fellow Americans and Iowans, we are at an inflection point. The country's not going to fix itself. The National Party is not going to fix itself by itself. It's up to all of us. It's up to all of you. We need to start now shaping the future. That means winning the key races of 2025 by supporting our terrific Democratic nominees for governor in Virginia and New Jersey. It means in 2025.
And Iowa too.
And it means supporting our Democratic nominee in New York City's mayoral race, Hochul Mamdani. He is focused on ensuring that people can afford to live in the place that they work. That should be our goal in New York City, Des Moines, and every town and city and place across the United States of America. Donald Trump and New York's financial elites see that as a threat. The idea that everybody who works in New York City should be able to afford to live in New York City. And they have mobilized to defeat him. Yet, many Democratic members of the Senate and House representing New York have stayed on the sidelines.
Name names,
That kind
King.
of spineless politics is what people are sick of. They need to get behind him and get behind him now. Fellow
Name names, King. Full video here. A spokesperson for House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, one of these New York members of Congress, responds, confused New Yorkers are asking themselves the question, Chris Van who? They are... You really don't hate Democrats enough, man. The moment any Democratic leadership member is even slightly criticized, they demonstrate this sheer, like, contempt they have for the democratic process. Like, they stop pretending that this has anything to do with an ideological dispute, and they just sneer at you. What was the name of that fucking dumb bitch from California? Come on, you know who I'm talking about. The Sunrise Movement? Feinstein, thank you. Yeah, like with her. They never mentally left high school? No. Your read on this is completely incorrect. It's not just pettiness. They're evil, and they are where they are because they sold everything that they have to get there and to stay there, and they're aware of that fact, and they sneer at the idea that it's possible to be moral in a space like this, you know? It's every fucking final Dark Souls boss final words. Oh, you think you'll do better? It's shit Spiral King be saying before you shoot him or whatever in the however Simone defeated him at the end of the first season. Okay, it's always the same thing. Hillary Clinton is exactly like this. They're really transparent with it. Okay, they sacrificed everything to get here. They have no principles, and you think you can do this with principles? How cute. They get really defensive about it. Schumer is exactly like this. Hillary Clinton is exactly like this. To a large extent, Obama's like this too, but he's smarter. Obama's a lot smarter than these stupid motherfuckers. He's a lot better at hiding it. Not good enough, but he is better at hiding it. I miss Nancy Pelosi. She was so much better than Jeffries. Pelosi was also like this, but yeah, much smarter than Jeffries. Jeffries is like actually a moron. Chuck Schumer has always been a moral and intellectual black hole. Just hasn't mattered because he's been a good, like, you know, stooge. Chris Van who? Van Hollen's been doing great recently. He also wrote a Senate report saying Israel's doing ethnic cleansing. Yeah, he's one of the few Democratic senators who's not, like, explicitly part of the problem. Van Hollen 2028? No, he doesn't have the national recognition. That being said, he's probably my pick for the next Democratic Senate Majority Leader. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen because, like, a majority of Democratic senators would, like, fall on the sword for Israel. In fact, the next time the Dems take back the House or the Senate, we're going to see this scramble over, like, hey, should our leaders be the same ineffectual Zionist blowhards who have sacrificed everything and gained nothing over the past so and so many years? And the answer for most Democrats is going to be yes, it should be them. And oh boy, you guys are going to see Brianna Joy Gray posting out of me the likes of which you've never seen before. You're going to see some properly, like, unproductive anti-electoral shit as soon as we go down that road. Fucking 2027, all the new House members come in, and you see, like, a split vote. Hakeem Jeffries is the most popular candidate for House Majority Leader, and I'm out there going, vote for the Republican. I don't care. Get Johnson there. I don't give a shit, man. Just anybody but him. Please, fucking God. What about utilitarian calculus? My calculator is out of battery. The next leader in the Senate might be Slotkin, right? Oh, they wish. Schumer would fucking love it if Slotkin followed his old ass up. He would love that shit. They would call it progressive, too. They'd be like, yeah, here's our young female, like fucking, you know, like junior senator elected as our leader, just one in a purple district, you know. Oh, yeah. Oh, Schumer would love that. It is her turn. It is her turn. That's true. You think AOC has a chance at House Minority Leader? Why the fuck would why would they hold an election for House Minority Leader? Who's holding that election? Pelosi's doing better than Jeffries at getting Dem states to redraw their maps. Yeah, no, Jeffries is useless. He's genuinely like completely the nice thing about Jeffries and Schumer is that they're kind of aligning both ends of the argument. Ideologically, both of these men are evil beyond compare, but also they're completely useless, and every Democrat agrees. Nobody thinks these people are effective. Democrats in office who pretend that these people are effective are doing so they can keep their post-election consultancy positions. They just want to remain part of the machine. They're quite effective at their actual roles. I mean, if their actual roles are like kowtowing to Israel, then yeah. I mean, honestly, no, they're bad at that too. Schumer and Jeffries have probably negatively polarized a lot of Democrats against Israel by virtue of advocating for it so ineffectively. Zionists don't try to convince you of anything. They just browbeat you. Every Zionist argument is exactly the same. They just scream at you and show you like screenshots from October 7th or whatever. They don't make any arguments. If you say you're committing genocide, they say, well, yeah, the Palestinians deserve it, idiot. Also, all media is lying to you and everyone on earth is lying to you. Only we're telling the truth. And then the truth that they tell you is also them admitting to genocide. Like there's no effort to convince you, you know? It's like getting your Holocaust denial propaganda from the world's most like juiced up, rhetorically ineffective Nazis in the 1940s. They're like, yeah, that shit ain't happening. But also, like, isn't it fucking goated? And also, they deserve it, but it's not happening. And also, you're being like germophobic. What would they call it? Yeah, yeah, areophobic. There we go. By even asking these questions. That's literally how Holocaust deniers talk about the Holocaust, though. Yeah, and for that reason, Holocaust denial has remained like a pretty niche conspiracy theory for a really long time. It's only gotten ground recently because like the people advocating for Holocaust denial have gotten a little bit smarter about how they do it. Now actually Holocaust denial is easier than ever before to advocate for from like the perspective of the Nazis who are trying to like sow seeds of dissent or whatever, because now it's really easy to wrap this up in a like if they're willing to lie to you about Gaza, what else will they lie to you about, you know? Like we have an actual real life conspiracy playing out right now of the entire Western media and political apparatus lying to you boldly, to your face, openly, like shamelessly, about something everyone knows is happening. So it gives them like a lot of ground to get away with their conspiratorial posting. It's really unfortunate. We've basically guaranteed another 2 centuries of like structured anti-Semitism by defending Israel. Kind of fucked up. Yeah, it's not great. It's probably bad.